Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
Oh, welcome to Money Radio viewers. This is Leadership Television. Sorry, we are bringing the program a bit behind schedule. It was due to some circumstances beyond our control. And still in the spirit of Independence Day anniversary, here's wishing every one of us, you Nigerians, Nigeria, a happy 62nd anniversary. My name is Winifred Webo, and with me in the studio is the editor of National Economy, Kingsley Ali. Kingsley, it's a pleasure to have you in the program.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, viewers. Let's see what National Economy has for us this week. National Economy. We are having some technicalities there, some hitches. Yes, National Economy says turbulence in the skies. Nigeria's aviation sector battles lingering huge indebtedness to foreign airlines, high cost of aviation fuel, forest scarcity, among others. This is the leading headline on National Economy. Turbulence in the skies. Nigeria's aviation sector battles lingering huge indebtedness to foreign airlines, high cost of aviation fuel, forest scarcity, among others. Before we have our deliberation discussion on the headline story on the cover of National Economy, on the same cover, we have other leading stories. Nigeria's economy at 62, lessons for the past for better future. Talent drain threatens Nigeria's booming tech industry. What higher MPRO, CRO mean for bank customers? Yes, that is the stories on the cover of National Economy. Let's go inside National Economy and see some of the stories they have in the paper. Inside National Economy. Meanwhile, as we move over to the inside pages, I just want us to focus on the turbulence in the skies. Today's headline story on National Economy. Now, let's find out what is actually happening now, because the last month we had some foreign airlines even boycotting Nigeria's aviation sector. So, has it been solved? What is happening in the sector?
No. It has not been solved because government is still owing them. There has been this issue of about $450 million. That's government's indebtedness to them. And out of that amount, government was able to offset 200 million. But paying the balance is now the challenge. At some point, this International Air Transport Association, which is like a clearinghouse for over 300 airlines across the globe, also tried to wade into the matter. They discussed with CBN, nothing came out of it. So overall impression is that Nigeria is a very dangerous place to do business in the first place. The atmosphere is not conducive, it's not friendly. And the trickle-down effect of this is that the customers, the air travelers are meant to be at the brunt of all this, because one, you check how much you're paying now for airfares, as opposed to maybe 4 or 5 months ago. But then you also look at the issue of scarcity of foreigners.
But sorry, still on that foreign airlines boycott of aviation sector.
Yeah.
I thought the CBN was waiting it to release this huge debt. To pay the foreign airlines. So how far has it gone?
That's what we're saying. As we are talking now, at the moment, government is still owing them 200 out of the 450 million. They were able to pay 200, so they are owing about $250 million. And as a result of maybe this scarcity of forests, they have to source for this money and all the rest of them to be able to offset that. So at the moment now, it's a very huge challenge, for government. And but then the customers, like you said, the air travelers are the ones bearing the brunt of all this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what about the cost of Jet A1 fuel?
Yeah, it's been a lingering
has
issue. That has
yes.
been a lingering issue for quite a long time now.
Mm.
All no thanks to our inability to set up our refineries and get it up and running. So because of that, it's affecting a
The
lot of the
aviation.
aviation sector. Although Minister of Aviation Hadi Sirika said that government sometime some few months back were able to import about 10,000 metric tons of Jet A1,
Yes.
metric tons of Jet A1,
Yeah.
you know. So the airline operators were able to assess that. And the vice chairman of airline operators of Nigeria, that is Chief Allen Onyema, the owner of the Airpeace, he also acknowledged that yes, we took delivery of this 10,000 metric tons. We took delivery of another 5,000 metric tons. You know, so it will appear that both the operators, they are they are resonating very well with what the minister was saying. They are okay that, well, if you can be helping us to get this Jet A1 import and bring them into the country, it may alleviate some of the problems we are going through. But here is what the minister said. Minister said that this thing is not something you can tie to a time frame like that. Now, for instance, on the issue of Jet A1, he said they will be importing more of this, so that they can reduce the burden on the airlines. But then he said also, while they are doing that, they will quickly look at how they can facilitate the refurbishment of all these refineries, local refineries. And then
we've had that for the past almost 8 years.
Yeah, that's what they keep saying. That's what they keep saying. But I think at this point in time, government is really desirous to do something about it, because they say they will look at how these refineries will be refurbished.
But
and then Dangote, of course, they are looking at Dangote refinery coming on stream.
Yes.
So
at least mid of next year.
Yes, mid of next year, 2020. So that way, it is hopeful that it is hope that when it comes on stream, it will also cut the cost of.
But you notice that most airliners, domestic airlines, they are no longer complaining too much about this Jet A1 fuel, because the fact that consumers are now paying much more than before, than during that onset when it started. For instance, on an average flight to Lagos is about 120, 150, 100.
Yeah.
The least you get is that is when you are flying above, that is after 6 p.m. in the evening.
Yes.
That is when you get at least a cheaper flight for 75,000 naira.
Yeah.
So why is this so? Consumers are still bearing so much.
Yeah,
the fact that you just said that, disclose that federal government cushioned it by supplying them.
Yeah, this is where we expect the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission to move in. Do you understand? They did it earlier when the airlines decided to. They just met, and then decided on their own to just jack the price of air ticket to 50,000 at the time.
At the time, yes.
So the FCCPC as well started to wheel the big stick and say, no, you can't do this. There's a process. There's a procedure. You have to go through that. And if it is found that you people just sat on your own without records to due process and you do this, then there will be consequences. Do you understand me?
Yes.
That was earlier then, maybe some 5 months or 6 months back. But now, if they are getting supplies of this Jet A1, it is also expected that they should reciprocate that. But it will appear at the moment they are not reciprocating.
Yes, they are not, because airfare is still very expensive.
So FCCPC should be able at this point in time to intervene.
Yes, we are having situations whereby our intervention or federal government agencies are supposed to provide supervisory and regulatory rules. They are not doing that. Like just what you pointed out.
Yes.
Is FCCPC not aware that Nigerians are paying much more than?
Well, I don't really know what's going on with them now, but I do know that the man there at the FCCPC, Barrister Babatunde Rukera, is very proactive. He's a man. He's a no-nonsense DG. He doesn't. He's a lawyer by training. So he has a track record in the industry. So it would mean that either they are working behind the scene to see how these things can be, adjusted to at least to some extent, also favor the air travelers. So we don't get to pay so much to travel to a place that may not be more than 1 hour, like from here to Abuja and all the rest of. So that is just for that.
So let's focus. Can you zoom in on the headline story, Turbulence in the Skies? Let's get a snippet from it.
Yeah.
Yes. Can we start from the beginning? Let's just see. Okay. It's supposed to be from cover.
Yes.
Anyway, we are going over to the cover stories. Let's take some headline stories from there. Let's move over to the headline story. National economy. Let's see the cover. Nigeria's economy at 62, lessons from the past for better future. Kingsley, now as the editor of National Economy, what are the lessons to be learned from Nigeria's economy at 62?
Yeah, it was actually, there were some projects government with good intentions started, and unfortunately, the people that were direct beneficiaries of these projects were actually the wrong people. Take, for instance, this Anchor Borrowers Program, for instance, Of course, we know the issues for some time now in that area, that even the farmers are not paid, they are defaulting the loans and all the rest of them. And if you ask the Rice Farmers Association,
it's free money.
It's not free money. It's supposed to be something that should be able to help the farmers, cultivate and produce. But incidentally, the direct beneficiaries are not even the people like you have the Rice Farmers Association of Nigeria. If you ask them now, they will tell you they don't know anything about this Anchor Borrowers as this thing. So one person somewhere feels he knows somebody somewhere and say, I can help you to secure this loan. You can give me this or you can give me that. So you get to see lots of that kind of projects.
Incidentally, I was also supposed to be part of it too. But at the end of the day, they will open an account in your name and you don't have access to the funds in one of your banks. And that was what happened. The money also went.
Yeah, so there were a lot of projects like that. Well-intentioned, it's supposed to benefit the right kind of people. But then somewhere along the line, some wrong set of people will just jump in there and hijack it. And once they hijack it, one, the money, you don't even get to see the money again. Number two, the results, so much anticipated results you will not even see. So that's why we're looking at Nigeria 62. This kind of mistake must not repeat itself. And it behoves the incoming administration, to make sure that when you channel funds, you channel it properly. You channel it properly so that the right people that are supposed to use it for the benefit of everybody will get access to it.
Now, talking about Nigeria's naira free fall.
Yes.
And that story is please, can you scroll down on the cover? We have what higher MRR. Okay.
No, that talent.
Okay, yes, I will get there. What higher MPRO mean for bank customers? Because Naira has been having a free fall, and recently the CBN governor came out to increase, is it lending rates or interest rates? So what does it mean for Nigeria?
No, what it simply means now is that it will encourage lending. Do you understand? It is supposed to encourage lending. And I'm so sure that is what many of our readers would like to know. How are they going to benefit from this? How are they going to benefit it? So it's part of the measures government wants to put in place to ensure that the people that are supposed to benefit from small loans are able to access it. It should encourage lending.
Okay. Yeah. Still on the banking sector, we have a story in the middle. Talent drain threatens Nigeria's booming tech industry, and the story is on page 5 of National Economy. Talent drain threatens Nigeria's booming tech industry, and the banking sector has been the worst hit. Those stories we carried leadership. The sister publication did carry a story that most banks have lost their IT specialists to brain drain.
Yeah, that's the tragedy of this country. It's a tragedy. It's the irony. When government fails to nurture talents. Most of these tech experts, talents you're seeing, most of them went out of their way they really were like, it was their personal effort that got them to where they could be seen, be visible on the world stage. For maybe some tech icons in the Silicon Valley could spot them and pick them and all the rest of them. So the issue is that, you see, until we begin to invest in IT infrastructure, also make the environment very conducive, you know, to nurture these talents, they will continuously experience this kind of drain, talent drain. The moment, of course, if they want to be where they'll be well paid, taken care of. In this environment, they are contending with a lot of issues. You know, they are contending with a lot of issues. So we got to see people, firms like Google. Google has what you call a Google Founders a Startup Fund, where they released, I think this year they released about $4 million, you know, to select group of, you know, tech, you know, startups, you know, so that they will encourage them in what they are doing, their innovative projects, that eventually they may, at the end of the day, somebody somewhere, maybe outside, will look at this all over the whole place now. It's just the true picture now.
But however, you know, Kingsley, Nigeria has a human resources, large human resources, considering his population, huge population. Don't you think that this tech, they would have also, Nigeria's a rich population is also a feed for them to exploit their talents, don't you think?
Yeah, it should be, all things being equal. All things being equal, it should be. But unfortunately, that is not what it is. That's the truth. Okay, fine. Let's even start with lecturers on strike now. Lecturers on strike. So for God knows how long. If you are somebody in the IT, doing something related to IT in the university, you're almost stuck now. So these people you see, they go out of their own ways to carve their own path. Nigeria has to come to a point where they understand that there is a shift. There's a shift in the way things are done now. When these tech guys come up, we should encourage them. They don't encourage them. They don't encourage them. So they look for where they will be well taken care. Of course, the incentives are there. So nobody will see a good incentive and then turn their back on it. That is just the problem at the moment now. This talent drain and all the rest of them. As much as, yeah, we have government saying we provide this funding, we provide that funding, we provide this funding. It's always the thing with government establishments. You know, it's not tell us most times to, you know, to capture the right set of people. They just vote so amount of money, and then somebody somewhere will be somewhere creaming off that money. If that money is not properly deployed. So the question is, how long will these guys continue to wait? How long will they continue to hope? Hope for what? That is the reason why you have this talent drain. There's no other reason. If not, judging by the population of the country, if you have a very good environment, a good working environment for them, why would Flutter Wave is one of those?
Yes. We have Patricia.
Yeah.
We have so many.
So many of them.
So many.
And these guys are now pulling, they are pulling weight.
Yes, and they are quite young.
They are quite young, they are pulling weight. So, but then, that's the tragedy.
We
like
have, which other one that was sold the other time?
There are so many of them.
Yes.
There are so many of them. There are so many of them, but when you check very well, you notice, yeah, Daniel Melu is also doing a lot for them. But then that is in the private sector. Do you understand? Daniel Melu is also doing. There also are other organizations like that, well-meaning individuals and organizations that are actually going out of their way to nurture those people now. So when you look at the level of investment that made on these people, you don't expect that after these guys, you know, are equipped and they got to where they were going, you want them to come back and start arguing for funding and what. They don't do that.
That is really a tough one,
Yeah.
But before we go, let's take a look at the inside pages of leadership, just briefly. Let's see page 2 of National Economy, Turbulence in the Skies.
Yeah.
Then that is a continuation of the cover story.
Yes.
Let's see the next page. Let's just see inside pages.
This is page 4.
Okay.
That's the page 5.
Okay. I have Nigeria's economy at 62 lessons on the path for a better future.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're able to
these are
engage.
the leading stories on the cover.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we see the other pages? Let's viewers see the pages. What national economy is made of today. Wow. I think we're experiencing some hitches there.
Yeah.
Also, well, viewers, this is where we call it a day on Money Radio. Today with me in the studio has been the editor, National Economy, Kingsley Alu. Kingsley, it's always a pleasure to have you on the program.
Thank you very much.
Look forward to seeing you next week, same time, same station. I remain Winifred Webo. See you. Bye.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.